So just to recap, so I can show how versatile this podcast
Talk about it. Talk
is,
about it.
we did gambling.
Gambling.
We did potentially kidnapping.
Yep.
We have done, I don't even remember. We talked Duke. We hate Duke.
Yep. We talked women's college basketball.
Women's college basketball, women's pro basketball.
The future of women's basketball. And we ended on Bill Burr impersonating. Come on, man. Impersonation. Come on, man. What more do you want from us?
What more do you want? This is it, y'all. We're tap dancing. We're pulling out all the stops for you.
Share this podcast.
Welcome to 4th and 10 right here on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast. I'm sure there's a ton that I'm forgetting or that I don't know about, but that's okay because you know about them because you found us. And that's what really matters, is that the treasure was in you all along. It's not, this was more the destination than the journey. So, thank you for being here. It's gonna be a weird week. We're recording a day late. We only have half the team. My name's Nathan Owens. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm _Owens. Instagram, I'm Owens. NathanOwensComedy.com. And it's just David Perdue.
That's it. It's just me. What's up, people? Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Do or Die. That's at DUEORDIE or DavidPerdueComedy.com for some absolutely nothing. There's nothing on that website that you need. There's some pictures, old pictures of me where I don't look the same. It's some dates for shows that I've already done.
Okay.
I don't know why I have a website.
It's like a fun little time capsule of your comedy career.
Pretty much. One day I'm gonna figure out how to do that regularly. Just not today. Or anytime soon.
I'm gonna check this in real time because it's always great radio to hear somebody Google something.
Yeah.
I think I've heard the Space Jam website has not updated since the 90s.
Man, that's me when it comes to my website. I'm not current
Space
at
Jam
all.
Website.
Yeah.
Man, it's beautiful.
My website?
No, spacejam.com.
Oh yeah, no, that's beautiful. That makes sense.
Spacejam.com/1996.
What is that, like 8-bit? What does that look like?
Yeah, you got to go to it. It's great.
Let me see. Now I gotta see.
This
is what happens when there's no Damon here to reel us in.
We look at things on the computer.
We both have experience in weird ADD.
They had a store. I didn't know there's a Space Jam store. I've been searching very specifically on Amazon.
Spacejam.com. No, that's the wrong one. You said 96?
Spacejam.com/1996.
1996. You got to edit all of this out. Oh, wow. All right.
I know. It's beautiful. The unofficial podcast of spacejam.com/1996.
Wow. Interesting.
This is not going to be good.
Nope, not looking at it anymore. All right. Anyway, we're here.
Here we go.
Yep.
We're here.
Yeah. Somebody had to basically do this to us. Hey, guys, focus.
I'm guessing we don't have any reviews.
No, we're not. What did I say? July 2022?
Is that what you said? I don't remember.
I'm gonna say August 1st, 2022.
All
is
right.
the next time I'll re-review. Until then, people, rate and review us, or more importantly, between now and then, tweet at us. Retweet us.
Retweet. Yes.
Retweet.
Please. Just share.
Continue to, even on Instagram, share the podcast. That's what we're asking.
That's what we need. The reviews are great.
They are great. We know you love us.
We know.
But now we're asking you to show it.
Yeah. Also, a way to show it, patreon.com/4th and10.
Ooh, he did a good transition there.
The pre-show
that was good.
Audio. It's a whole nother episode. Every single week you get a whole nother episode. And it's not sports. It's literally whatever our brains decide to shoot out of our face holes.
Pretty much. And this week we went what? We talked superheroes. We talked
movie accents.
A
little bit of my comedy special.
We did. We were everywhere.
We sort of bashed Dan and Damon a little bit.
Well, now they're gonna go look They were going to do it before.
They're not.
They're still not going. You're right.
No, I feel like it was much more Damon.
He's definitely not going to look.
No, he's not. So
he's not going to look.
I think we're safe.
You got too many kids running around to listen to a podcast.
He does. He's got a lot of them. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump into it. You ready for this?
I am ready.
Let's go. Biggest story in the sports world today. Let's just knock out the newest one we've got. And that is that Russell Wilson is, according to Adam Schefter, heading to Denver to be their quarterback.
Not just their quarterback. He's going there to be the third best quarterback in the division.
See, I think you could still make an argument for second.
Behind Mahomes.
But I'm not willing to say that Justin Herbert is a better quarterback right now today. He's very good.
I am.
The Chargers found their franchise guy.
Yeah.
And I'm very jealous of him.
And the Seahawks don't have theirs. You know why? Because they were like, we can do better without him. That lets me know. I'm not saying that doesn't have more accomplishments, is not greater. What I'm saying is right now, if I had to pick one of the two, I'm picking Herbert every time. Because you know why? The Chargers not trading Herbert for something better.
If you had a game of football that decided your life, you want Justin Herbert at quarterback over Russell Wilson?
Yes, and here's why. The skills of quarterback, all of the skills that I've seen, Herbert does them better. What does Russell Wilson do that is better than Herbert?
I don't exactly know.
This is not. I want to be clear. This is not a Russ. It's not me hating Russ.
No, it's not.
This is more so me saying this man been in the league a long time, right? He's been with a team that has been well coached and had a great defense. And I can't remember, he's never the top of the league in passing. He's never the top in rushing. He completions. He's never the top of touchdown. I don't remember a grand rush year where you're like, oh snap, he's clearly the best top 3 quarterbacks in the league, right? Even when he won the Super Bowl.
You don't think he's been a top 3 quarterback in the league for most of his career?
No. That this league for most of his career has had Tom Brady in it. This league for most of his career has had a lot of his career had Peyton Manning.
All right, so maybe not top 3, but top 5?
Yeah, no, yes. I'm saying right now he's not in the top 5. We did a top 5 before, and no one said him out of anybody in this podcast.
I didn't know this. Apparently, he's never received an MVP vote.
Exactly. He's not
a vote, and I find that very surprising.
I don't at all.
He's been a top 5 quarterback in this league, but for the near entirety of his career.
No, he's not bad. He's not overrated. I'm not saying that at all. I think that he is a great leader of men, right? He gets the job done at quarterback. And he doesn't hurt you, which is everything, right? And not to make him bad, he can win you a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put him in the very same category as Matt Ryan. See, this makes you now you don't know what to do with me because you think I hate Matt Ryan. I put him in the same category where it's just like, man, you've done it. Like you're a good quarterback. You're like tier 2 elite. You know what I mean? But you've never. Maybe I take that back because Matt Ryan got MVP. So
so Matt Ryan's better than Russell Wilson?
Nah, Russell Wilson got the job done in the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you this though: if you're gonna say that Russ can't get it done, I cannot name a single one of his receivers during their Super Bowl years.
Ooh.
Marshawn Lynch, absolute beast. We know that.
Yes.
The defense always a top tier.
Yes.
But I cannot think of who he was throwing to survive in those games.
So that's my point. When they won, they didn't ask a lot of him. You know what I'm saying? When they were really winning, they weren't asking a lot of him. They were just saying, hey, don't do too much. Later on, when he had the options, he was like, go win us a game. We don't have Marshawn Lynch back there. Our defense is what it is. And you see, they weren't in the Super Bowl when that was happening. You know what I mean? This This is not a him being overrated conversation. This is me saying Herbert, Mahomes. I'm picking both of them as far as what quarterbacks can do and can hurt you. I'm picking them before I'm picking him. Now, does he win off the field? Absolutely. His wife and Mahomes' wife, listen, not even close. Not even close. Okay.
I'm just saying, I mean, I think this is the last Super Bowl that he played. He went 18 for 25, threw touchdowns. He had a quarterback rating of 123.1.
Excellent game. Again, this is not a knock on him. At no point in time during that game would you pick him above 4 other quarterbacks in the league that year. What year was that?
I don't remember which year.
20-ish. I don't know. I don't even remember.
2014.
2014. At that time, I'm still picking Brady. 2014. Who's in the league 2014?
I mean, Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, still picking Aaron Rodgers. I'm probably still picking Matt Ryan. Because Matt Ryan was that MVP year?
2016.
Exactly. So he wasn't even his MVP. So it means he was dealing by then, right? So that's 3 quarterbacks right now. I'm already picking up ahead of him.
Okay. So to shift gears, my question is, why does Seattle do this?
Mutual. They need it.
Because you can't upgrade. He's only 33. He's not like this super aging quarterback.
He won it out though.
I get that. So to take all of that off the table.
Yeah, okay.
Because we don't know all of that. I don't know what his relationship with the front office is, Pete Carroll, all that kind of stuff. And that can trump all. Obviously, we saw that with Julio.
Right.
Where he won it out no matter what.
Right.
But I just don't like Seattle doesn't get better. I don't know who they expect to get back. I mean,
they got Drew Lock.
Is Drew Lock though a franchise quarterback?
I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback.
He's a cool dude.
But here's my point. I don't know if Russell Wilson is a franchise quarterback outside of Seattle.
But he it doesn't matter because he won in Seattle.
It does. Here's why I say it matters. Aaron Rodgers is a franchise quarterback in any city that he went to, right? He has that talent. You might hate him. Tom Brady had proven he's a franchise quarterback the 2 places that he went to. We're not going to get into all of this stuff, but I'm just saying he won the Super Bowl in 2 different places, right? Aaron Rodgers has that type of talent where he can win anywhere, right? Matt Ryan, you put him anywhere, or at least give him an offensive coordinator for more than 2 years, he's probably going to win. You know what I mean? Like there's certain, I don't know if Russ gets that. I don't know. He doesn't have in my opinion, oh, you're elite. I don't know what he does elite.
I mean, he's got as many Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but there's a reason why we never think about him in the same category, Aaron Rodgers. You can throw the Super Bowl. I think
you're the only one. I've always thought of him in the same category as Aaron Rodgers.
Never have I ever. I don't think any NFL player would think that. Outside of people on his team. We don't. No analyst has ever been like, these are the same thing. Aaron Rodgers.
I think he's been to more Super Bowls.
I hear you, man. I think that he's had great defenses.
And Aaron Rodgers hasn't had all of that. Aaron Rodgers hasn't had great offenses and great defenses.
He's also had a time where we didn't know who any of his receivers were. And he made stuff happen. Or any of his running backs were. Or, the defense was like, The offensive line, You know what I mean? Like, Aaron Rodgers. Here's what I mean. There was when Russell Wilson won, he wasn't the first thing you game plan for. It was the defense, right? Every time Aaron Rodgers has been on the team, you first have to plan for Aaron Rodgers. That's my only point. You first got to plan for Aaron Rodgers his whole career, or the majority of his career, and you had to plan for either Marshawn Lynch or the defense first. That was a priority. That's all I'm saying.
I just don't know why that's his fault.
It's not a fault. It's just
that shouldn't be a shot at his legacy. Like, he got the job done. I believe he's gotten to more Super Bowls than Rodgers. He's won as many of those, and he has a Super Bowl later. Like, his Super Bowl is 2014. We haven't seen Rodgers win a Super Bowl in over a decade.
This again, I'm not trying to phrase this as he's not good, but we're talking about the eye test. Watching Aaron Rodgers play quarterback, watching Russ play quarterback. You ask poll 100 people which quarterback they're taking. 99 people are picking Aaron Rodgers. Maybe you're the one person that's like, I'm going Russ.
I think it's just Mina Kimes, one of the greatest
That's true.
Analytical minds in football today.
There are other great football minds who would say, Mina, God bless you. I can see you're clearly born in Seattle.
It is the Venn diagram of this. It's just me and Mina Kimes hanging out, high-fiving each other about how smart we are.
Look, Mina Kimes is great, but she's also a big Russ fan, just like you. So that's all I'm saying. Mina, if you're listening, who you taking? Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson? I don't know.
Actually, I wouldn't have any idea if she'd actually agree with me or not.
I know she wouldn't because she's smart.
All right, you want to talk about Coach K getting spoiled?
Man, let's talk about these crying white kids.
See, this is what I'm thrilled about, because I think if Damon or Dan were on here, we would have somebody trying to take a pro Duke stance.
No,
I don't think we're going to let it happen. So Coach K's final game at Duke is spoiled by, I believe, unranked North Carolina.
They're unranked, but they're not a bad team. They're going to make the tournament.
Okay. Well, yeah, they're UNC. They're going to make the tournament.
No, sometimes you don't make it. If you're truly bad.
So, I just love it because this also comes on the heels of apparently Duke being upset that UNC didn't honor him in February when he did his last game up there. So they're mad about that. Coach K's his last game. People are camped out for weeks. They're paying thousands of dollars to get into the building.
Like tens of thousands of dollars.
Just to watch that rat-faced whiner, just classless coach.
Woo, why he gotta be all that?
Because he is.
Is he I don't know.
He is successful, but he is successful because referees have helped Duke out.
All right, can we not do the referee thing?
No, we are. I want you to go and look up. Duke is officiated differently. They are. They always have been.
And so all those other teams, sure, fine.
Pivot foots do not exist if you have a Duke jersey.
You sound like Rick Barry. The game is not being called the same.
They also seem, I don't know how he does it, but Coach K seems to attract all the whiny, entitled white kids that are just miserable to watch play.
He just goes to their house and goes, look at your face, look at my face, look at us. Look at us.
Hey, how do you feel about other people's ankles? Do you want to take them out all the time? You're perfect. Like Grayson Allen was made in a lab to be the perfect entity of what Duke basketball is.
I mean, he's a punchable face. I don't want to besmudge his character, Coach K's character.
Yes, you do. Besmudge it.
No, because I don't know the stories like you do, right? Because the only Coach K I ever I never liked Duke. Like first starting as a young person.
You're a good person.
Starting as a young person, I was a Michigan fan when the Fab Five was there. So like obviously I was like, no, we don't like them. Families from Detroit, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really pay attention to Duke. I also never liked Carolina. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that.
I never liked Carolina. So it was like you pick those two teams or whatever, like usually one picks the other, whatever. So I never liked them two. My interest, like when I started to be like, oh, Coach K was when he was coaching the Olympics. And it was like he had people like Kobe and LeBron, and these people be like, oh, we like him. So it's like if you're good, an NBA player, and you like him, then I also will like you. Or enough, I'll respect you, I should say.
See,
I'll respect you.
Anybody can be likable during the summer. Summer me is different. I don't know if you ever hung out with Island Nate.
Nope.
He's a good time.
I don't want to hang out with that guy.
Very laid back, very unopinionated.
Show necklaces and stuff, probably.
So,
there's a lot of this.
Yeah, that was what Hang Loose Brother.
Hang Loose Brother.
No, I'm just saying, like, sure, anybody can be nice and have a good time when you just have to sit on the bench and tell Kobe to go dunk on a Lithuanian. I am saying, like, watching him at Duke, he whines, he complains, he had all these dirty players.
Wait, is your favorite coach don't whine and complain? Is that what it is?
No.
What coach doesn't whine? That's half of the job of being the coach.
There's difference between talking to the refs, working to the refs, and complaining.
No, there's not.
The whining entitlement that Duke has had ever since Coach K has been there, that's what sets them apart. It's the entitlement. You can feel it.
No, you can feel it.
You call a foul on Duke, and Coach K is appalled.
Every player that's ever been a foul called on them is appalled.
If there is a foul called on any other team, they go, that sucks. I disagree with that call. When you call a foul on Duke, Coach K goes, how dare you? How dare you blow your whistle at one of my players? One of my perfectly christened, shiny, baby-faced assassin
This is why you're not a general in war, because you had an ally and you lost him.
No.
I wanted to hate Duke this whole segment.
You still can.
No,
we can hate them on different levels.
No, your level is unrealistic. Or it's like I feel like I'm not saying he's not. I'm
hate
just
him
saying
hate him on your own level. I'm not trying to get you to defend him.
No, because it's such an unrealistic level that you have that it makes me go, hold on, somebody got to bring some kind of realism to this. Like,
no, we don't. We're
he can whine and
horses.
complain all he wants. What ends up he wasn't getting it done in the 2000. What he got? When's the last championship?
I don't know. I don't keep up with Duke stuff.
I mean, they probably pretty sure they beat your teams. So like, you had to know. Either way, his like this legacy is not like John Wooden where he was dominating college basketball. You know what I mean? Like they took L's. They definitely took L's. You know, so like, yeah, he whines. All the greats whine.
No.
Name one that doesn't.
Anybody but Coach K and John Boeheim whines a little bit. Everybody else.
Exactly. Anybody that's got over 700 wins has old boy from Indiana. What's the dude who throw the chair?
Bobby Knight.
Whine. Throw a tantrum. All the greats do this. The ones maybe John Wooden's the only one who didn't. He seemed too gentle of a soul. Right? But other than that, they all do it. So this is a thing that you're putting on him that's not true. I just want to say I was so excited. I had a staycation. I was in a hotel room. I was chilling and I was getting ready to leave to go out for the night. And to watch those children cry after spending thousands of dollars to watch a coach. He ain't playing for nobody. He ain't dunk on nothing. To watch a coach who just been dyeing his hair for 30 years. Okay, and nobody said nothing about this piece on top of his head and his dye that goes in it. To watch him lose. Oh, it felt like the kid in me who cried or felt bad when Michigan lost, the Fat Five lost, he felt good that night. Like I was like,
that's
ooh,
so funny.
I feel the opposite of what I felt back in the day when the Fat Five. This is a great feeling.
I didn't even think about the angle of he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Like you literally went to watch a guy pace in a suit.
Pace and scream and do that little scowl.
Yeah, it's not like, and also look, as much as the media will put their head up his butt, nobody has ever been like, wow, they would have lost that game if it hadn't been for Coach K. Nobody has ever said that. Like, I'm not saying he's not good at what he does. Obviously he is, and obviously he is very successful.
Right.
But college basketball, more than almost anything else, is like,
who got the horses?
Best team's gonna win.
Who got the it is that to a point. I think we've done a terrible job of figuring out what coaches do. I think we think X's and O's when it is X's and O's, but it's a lot of time getting people to get on the same page, moving the same direction. And I think he's done that. To his credit, for a while. Now in the end he stopped doing it because he realized that Calipari was doing it and it was only he was winning. He wasn't getting them one and dones. He was getting guys that was going to hang around a little bit. Duke
was too good for that.
And then
they had academic standards.
And then he said, F that. We need these boys because we out here getting drugged every year.
He said it so quickly.
Yeah, but at least he held on to it for a little bit. He had some sort of honor for a little bit. I don't know, man. My highlight I took away from this was those small children crying. You weren't even around when he got here. It was the small kids crying to make me the happiest. Yeah, there were some college students, 18, 19, they was crying, but I'm talking about them 11-year-olds. You don't even know.
An elderly man in a suit made you cry.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Who's your least favorite Duke player of all time?
Whoa, Sheldon Williams. Gotta be Sheldon Williams. Hate Sheldon Williams with the passion. Hawks should have never drafted him. And if I'm being honest, I remember when it came out. Do you remember he was married to Candace Parker?
Yeah.
And I remember being so mad. I was like, what in the world how did this happen? It made no sense. And now years later, it made perfect sense.
Right place, right time.
Right place, right time, my man.
I had
such a big crush on Candace Parker that it made me hate him. maybe hate him so much. And then he came to the
'cause he
Hawks, and
ends
I was like, you're in the same season. I can punch you in the face. I hate you so. I'll run up on you.
And it's not like he was like, well, I'm gonna perform so well that David will love me.
No, he sucked. He was bad at basketball.
He got drafted because he had a big butt.
That's it.
It was literally said he has a big butt.
He had a big butt. That's like, that don't mean you good at basketball. You don't dribble with your butt. You don't pass with your butt. You don't do a lot of things in basketball with your butt. You box out with your butt. And he wasn't even boxing out like that. He wasn't getting a lot of rebound. Yeah, who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite?
Grayson Allen's up there, but it's probably Greg Paulus.
Wow, you picked one that you picked the most one.
The most is Greg Paulus?
I feel like there's more to hate.
No, he was the worst because he had no business being out there. That's why I hated him. He was so untalented and just held up by everybody around him, but he was the one that was like slapping the floor on defense.
I mean, trying to get to the league,
taking bogus charges. No, it was Greg Paulus. I hate him.
Man, trying to get to the league. Here's what I will say: the most. Let me ask you this: it's easy to hate on Duke. Who's the Duke player that is your most liked Duke player
of all time?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, anybody that played for the Hawks, I forgave him eventually. It might be Shane Battier.
Really?
Yeah, okay. I never really had any issues with him. I always enjoyed watching him in the league.
Yeah. The one I've grown to like the most is JJ Redick.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to hate him. I hated him in college.
Oh, I was Team Morrison that year.
Yeah, I hated him in college. And then when he got to the league and struggled, I was like, good. But then he figured it out. And now he's entertaining post basketball.
Yeah.
And he said he shut up Stephen A. Smith the other day by saying real information.
Yeah, that might have been his downfall.
Yeah, no, he's never coming back.
He'll never be on ESPN again.
Yeah, he'll get you out of here. But I think it's JJ Redick, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy to hate. We got to talk about what we love, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. What we got next?
Topic. Let's get this one out of the way. All right. So Calvin Ridley.
Woo!
Oh, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver. Suspended for a year. He was caught gambling. A handful of parlays. Lost $1,500.
$1,500.
Suspended for a year.
Yeah.
He bet on 3 Falcons games. Bet on them to win, which you got to appreciate.
Yep.
Now, if you didn't really follow, all of this happened while he was out with mental health issues. So I want to start by saying I am not going to call those bogus because of this.
No.
And if you do, you just have no idea how depression, anxiety, really any mental issue. I could easily place bets when I have anxiety. Now, when I gamble on sports, my anxiety goes up.
Yeah.
So that's
an argument that can be made. Like, are you sure this is good for you?
Yeah.
Your mental health right now?
Unless it's depression,
right?
Where you're just sitting there and you're like, you know what? I can't get out on the field. Like, I got to get a win,
right?
And I got it. And so I think the thing that gets me, and let me start by saying this, is that it is an easy rule to not break,
mm-hmm.
And it is a very clear rule. You can't accidentally gamble away your money. You can't really accidentally place a bet. So I'm going to say that the punishment makes sense because that is what was laid out from just that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is the NFL has a very big issue on how much they punish certain things.
Man.
Because you can abuse your wife or your girlfriend, and you get 3-4 games.
Yeah.
If it happens during the season. You can take PEDs. You can get caught with PEDs, and you are playing in that next Super Bowl. You can get a DUI and play that Sunday.
As long as you don't kill nobody.
Right. But if you gamble, it is a year suspension without even thinking about it. So I'm not saying that he should not be punished because he did break a rule,
mm-hmm.
a very clear, very easy rule to break. My thing is the NFL has a very big issue with what things they prioritize. and that's coming to light through all this.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what this is. It is so. There's a couple things at play here, right? I think that for me personally, when people talk about rules, I always question rules because they don't be consistent.
Yeah.
And they tend to not favor people who look like me. Right? So I'm always having like, all right, why is that a rule? Right. So the first thing that came to my mind was the fact that Brian Flores is saying, hey, this owner told me to lose games.
Yeah.
And then Brian Flores would not have been in the league had it not been for the last other black coach to put him on his staff. He would have been blackballed for the rest of the league. We have an owner
offered him money, tried to pay him,
offered him money to lose, right? So that's what we're talking about in just in football, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I agree with you as far as those other things being problems. It's you can beat your wife or girlfriend per the NFL because that doesn't necessarily hurt the shield,
right?
Right? Betting on games is a bigger monetary loss potentially for them than you doing this one thing, which sucks. But it goes to show you what they actually care about, right? Then we talk about betting on games. First of all, he bet on his team.
Yeah.
He bet for them to win. But I saw somebody, I've seen several tweets bring this up, taken outside of football. It's crazy that this man could lose livelihood for making a bet on his team, right? Because and people saying, well, maybe he knows something and that's why he's making a bet. Meanwhile, we got whole politicians made billions of dollars off of who create laws, who are in there behind the scenes on the bet, literally like making the bet make sense for them.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no rule for that. So that's why my alert, my spidey sense go off because I'm just like, for all the people, and I get it, it's an easy rule not to break. Like you wasn't doing nothing at home, meaning like you were working yourself or whatever. It's an easy one not to break. You can't slip and fall in that. However, it feels too hypocritical. You know what I mean? It feels like there are other things that I'm not saying he shouldn't be punished because it is a rule, but I'm just saying like to come bring the hammer down on him in a year, I would sue the pants off the NFL.
Especially because there's going to be an NFL show that talks about this, that bashes Calvin Ridley for this.
Yep.
And then the second that they go to commercial will be a DraftKings commercial.
Bro, it was DraftKings commercial. DraftKings probably got a spike post this.
And that's the thing, like the NFL, the reason, and I think this is part of what you were saying, the reason the NFL doesn't really care if one of their players commits a crime is because they don't really lose money.
Mm-hmm.
If Calvin Ridley gives betting a black eye, they lose money.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about the shield, and I agree with that, but I also think they're trying to keep betting as clean as possible because they have now realized how much money that is going to bring in for them.
Yes.
So the second that the waters get muddy there, they're out.
And the thing is, have not the waters been muddy in some sense, right? And I couldn't further like explain this when I was talking to my brother, but I'll bring you in on it. Isn't fantasy football kind of that where players are doing that, and most people in most leagues, there's some sort of like prize, right? There's some sort of where players have been known. I feel like this is true. If it's not true, let me know. To somewhat manipulate or at least be aware of the manipulation they might have as far as fantasy is concerned.
I mean, like you can play fantasy football without putting down money.
Yes, so but very few people are doing that.
Yes, very few people are doing that. And I would assume there's some sort of checks and balances. Because I know that I'm sure NFL referees play fantasy football as well.
Yes.
Because it's fun.
And they shouldn't be allowed to if this is going to be a rule, right? Like there's so many things to manipulate it, right? Because that's the thing they're worried about, the game being manipulated, right? Or the style play. But like when contracts have incentives, the game is manipulated. We all love at the end of the year when somebody needs 7 more catches to get $100,000 more dollars, when we see a quarterback throw them the ball 7 times to get them that money, right? I'm not saying that that's the same thing, but I'm saying if you're saying the problem is the game being manipulated, then don't let it be manipulated, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last thing I can think of. All right, so Sean Payton had the exact same punishment given to him.
Yeah.
A 1-year suspension. He was manipulating games by paying players to hurt opponents.
Yeah.
And the NFL, punishment wise, goes, that's exactly the same as an injured player putting a few $100 on his team to win.
Same thing.
And that's, I think, where it gets wrong. I get why this is not me arguing that athletes should be able to bet. Because I don't. It's the same thing with I think it's ridiculous politicians can play the stock market.
Yeah.
Like I do think you have certain inside information. But if I was ever going to defend a player's right to bet, it's a player not in the game betting for his team.
Straight up.
He's not playing. And then he wasn't a week-to-week thing.
No, he was out.
He was out.
Like, I don't think he was at the facility.
Home.
Yeah, he wasn't even at the facility.
No, he wasn't showing up to practice for a couple of days, testing it out.
Right.
So to me, if you are going to allow a player to bet, that's it. And I think fine him. Make him donate the money to charity. If you want to suspend him for a couple games, that's for one offense. Sure, that's fine. I really don't have any problems with it because it is against the rules.
Yeah.
But man, to give a guy a year for this,
yeah,
it sucks.
For him to tweet out so quickly,
man.
Like, I don't know about you. That let me know that, like, I don't know. I believe when he said he didn't have a gambling problem.
You believe him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not tweeting that out if I'm shutting up.
Yeah.
I'm going away. He was like, all right, relax. Like, his tweets was essentially, relax. Guys, relax. And the whole world's on fire. He's like, relax.
Also, we've seen the numbers when athletes that are paid well have gambling problems.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley gambled away rent for somebody.
Not even for him.
Definitely not for him.
Yeah,
he gambled away one of our friends' rents.
That's it.
Somebody at our level that we know.
Exactly. Like, what are we doing? And he did it from his phone.
Yeah.
Like,
I do want to praise the Falcons for a bit.
They do.
So they were getting trade offers for Calvin Ridley.
And they should have took him.
They were turning them down because they did not want to stick another team with this.
Is that what they said?
They were like, this is our guy. He's under investigation. So we're not going to trade him to you. Like, let's
Why is that a good thing to you?
Because look, it's a moral victory.
It's not a moral victory.
In just this gross NFL environment, it's good to know.
Gross gets you championships, Nate. When will you realize that you want the Boy Scouts to win? We never win like that.
Building up treasures in heaven.
Ain't no championship. Ain't no Lombardi trophy in heaven. Lombardi didn't make it to heaven.
me and Arthur Blank can have a few more jewels in our crown.
Man, what? So upsetting.
All right, you want to talk about Brittany Griner?
You must.
All right, so I don't think we have too many details on the story. I don't think a ton of people do.
It's quite hush.
The Mercury's Brittany Griner was playing overseas in Moscow during the offseason, which a lot of WNBA players do because they don't get paid enough over here. So that's a whole nother issue of why she was there. As the Russian invasion of Ukraine starts, I believe she's just trying to get back. And she is detained and is now being held in Russia for a vape pen, essentially.
So so many conflicting reports. I heard vape pen, and then I'm pretty sure it's from the Russian media.
Yeah.
It said sizable amount of
So Russian customs officials said vape cartridges containing hashish oil.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find an article, and then they released a picture for today, which was very weird.
Very weird.
It looked like a hostage picture. She's holding a sheet of paper.
With her name on it, yeah.
It's very bizarre and very scary.
It definitely. And then we found out, I think when we finally heard the news, she had been there for 3 weeks. She had been in custody for 3 weeks. It's a scary situation. I don't know what Russia has to gain by holding her.
I mean, if we want to get real,
let's do it.
Cynical, it's because she's an American.
Listen, this sucks, but I think it's Chappelle bit or somebody bit. He said about hostages. It said black people make bad bargaining chips.
Oh,
I think it was Chappelle. Like, I can only that ain't who they want. If they think that, like, all I'm gonna say is this: America don't be caring about these women over here, right?
yeah.
So if you're gonna play that game, they not caring about. We should have been home if they cared. You know what I mean? Should have been home if they really cared. If over there right now, I'm trying to think of a comparable player. If over there right now it was let's say Jason Tatum, he'd have been out of there.
Yeah.
The Boston Celtics would have been like, hey, they'd have all of a sudden gotten into diplomacy, and they'd have been like, we're gonna send Danny Ainge or like some former Russian player. Like the sense of urgency would have been there, right? So even with her being American, I'm like, I think we're showing how little we care about these athletes,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the numbers. I saw a tweet that she makes more in Russia than she does here.
All of them do.
Like,
all of them do.
It's very bizarre, and like it feels weird the more you think about it.
Yeah.
I just would be like, is there a plan to get her home?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I don't want to speak to the people who are like, well, she should have known. This idea about what the rules are, I get it, man. There are rules, and you got to be smarter, right? I would hopefully, you understand that Russia don't play, but especially like, I think my thing is my heart for is like, I'm like, she forgot who and where she was. Like,
she's been playing over there for almost a decade.
I know, but I'm talking about you're in Russia, right? We've seen they already don't like black people. They don't allow gay people. And ever across the world, people don't like women.
Yeah.
Like you got your head, we can't afford to play them games. A queer black woman in Russia, she certainly can't afford to play them games. I wish that she could walk around that free, but you can't. So like that, I can't. So it leads me to believe why it's a little fishy, because I can't believe she walked around Russia not knowing that.
Yeah,
she can't play these games, which leads me to believe it's not a sizable amount. It probably was like, something very small that she thought she could get away. We've all tried to move, very small amounts of weed or some sort of oils across state lines. We've all done it. Maybe, probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
They ain't incriminating yourself. If you're the feds, you looking for us because I said that, find somebody else to get, okay? We're talking about weed. I'm talking about weed. We talking about weed. I'm gonna have that moment. No, it's just
not cocaine.
Not cocaine.
Weed.
We're
talking about weed.
Talking about weed, okay? People, not mushroom.
There's people putting needles in their arms. You're talking about weed?
You're talking about heroin. We're talking about weed.
Weed. Yeah. I need a thing that relaxes me. Things that make me enjoy video games a little bit more.
Yeah.
Weed.
It's just, man, my heart goes to Brittany. I hope they bring her home soon. Because I mean, it's terrible timing.
It couldn't be worse timing.
Could not be worse timing. Yeah, I just, man, hopefully she might end up being like the spark that like gets people to actually care more about the league and its players, to be like, man, we can't have these women over here like that.
Yeah, well, the league kind of got into some hot water last week.
Yeah, we can move to that. Yeah,
you want to move to that? All right. Yeah. So I don't know exactly. I don't know all the details. I'm going to try to pull up the article and just kind of read what Bleacher Report was saying.
You can pull up the articles. I just know roughly speaking, the New York Liberty was fined, right?
Yeah, $500,000
for using a private jet for their players.
I don't even know if it was using a private jet.
Was it? It wasn't for using a.
So all right. So basically, the WNBA considers this. So it was private. Sorry about that. Okay. It was a private jet, and the WNBA considered this a advantage.
Yeah. Okay.
So they said it's a competitive advantage because not every team can afford to fly their players private.
Now here's where the thing gets weird. I believe it's the Liberty or one of these teams was like, "Hey, we can get y'all a deal where we can all fly private," and they was like, "No," because then they'll get used to being athletes in America. Like,
yeah.
Like, so when you hear it, like, was it Elizabeth Cambridge talk about like the league is great, but they won't let us be great. All these athletes talk
Yeah.
about how the league is holding them back. You see now why, right? You see now why these people are trying to set themselves up better. Like, because you hear stories about. I remember a couple years ago, there were stories about players getting in and only have like 3 hours before a game because flights got delayed, stuff like that. So when you got somebody trying to make it better, you shouldn't be holding them back. You should be like, everybody else catch up.
Because I think the NBA has gathered more momentum in the past couple years than they have the entire, quarter century they've been a league.
Yeah.
So if you are the WNBA, your job is to, one, not get in the way of that momentum, and two, help build it.
Yeah.
Like, it is your league. And if you think like, oh, I don't know if everybody can fly a private jet. I saw a picture the other day that popped up on my Instagram Discover page that was George Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger standing in front of a private jet that was painted with the Batman and Robin movie logo. There's private jets out there.
Got them out there.
Because they found one for the worst Batman movie ever made. So you can bet they can find, 15, 20?
Yeah.
The WNBA is not even that big of a league.
Yeah, it's 12 teams.
12 teams. You can't find 12 private jets. Ask NBA players.
Yeah.
Lease their jets. Like, ask other professional sports teams that are in their off season.
To go back to the league holding them back, it does speak to what the league thinks of its players, because in a part of it was like, I think there was a quote that said that the general idea is like, you don't want to get players to get used to this idea if it gets pulled back. And that's two things. That's either skepticism about your own product or fear that something bad is going to happen, like to your product. You know what I mean? Meaning that like, there's no way we can maintain this. It's like, why not go for it? Why not give them the best?
Yeah.
Why not present a league and get behind players so they don't feel like they have to go somewhere else where they're treated better? Like the idea that like Russia wouldn't do this to their women, you know what I mean? Or all these countries that we supposedly better than wouldn't do this to their women. If you want to get all patriotic about it, why don't you stand up for these women?
Yeah.
And be better for them here so they have to go over there.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want the best league to be here?
Yeah.
It is for other major sports.
Yeah.
Players in the NBA are coming over here as soon as they can.
Yeah.
Because they know this is the best league in the world. Yeah. WNBA players are putting up with this league.
Yeah. I mean,
we say things like they play overseas during the offseason. No, they play here during the offseason.
That's true. That's true.
Like, this is their offseason.
Yeah.
And it's a great product that deserves to be taken seriously by everybody, especially its own league.
Yeah, and it's only getting better. Yes,
and it does so much right that I'll be honest, it really surprised me. Because there's been a time where you go, the WNBA is doing this better than anybody else. When it comes to social justice awareness, they on the forefront of that.
Yes,
they are doing it better, and I don't know if more brave is a word. Braver.
It is, because you can lose everything over here. Nobody was gonna take Chris Paul's endorsements.
Yeah.
Nobody was gonna take these, LeBron and Nobody was gonna take their stuff. These women could have easily got blackballed for doing what they did, and they were doing it in subpar playing conditions. You know what I mean? Like, they were in some high school gym, in some prep high school situation when they were in the bubble and they risked it all. You have women quitting the league to pursue other things because they can't do both. LeBron, obviously one of the greatest players of all time, but he felt at least enabled enough to open up a school while playing in the NBA, and Renee Montgomery had to quit to pursue other things. Yeah.
And it's like, how in the world is the WNBA not enabling her to do this? And maybe that was more than that. This is the outside looking in. I don't know all that went into that decision.
Sure.
But you want to say that, like, people who are good at this, the WNBA, you should be doing everything you can to keep them in your league, keep them comfortable in your league, and showcasing them in your league.
And do it now, because, like I said, it's only getting better. I don't know, like, I watch a little bit of college women's basketball because I do listen. this is just Caitlin Clark. Get ready. You hear that's some fun basketball to watch.
The women's tournament, it can an argument that can be made that it can be more fun than the men's tournament.
Especially when it gets down. Yes, I agree.
I think there's more parity. So that the men's tournament, it's been the same 12 teams my entire life.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have your Kansas, your Dukes. You're going to have Michigan State every 4 years, stuff like that. The women's team, all of a sudden you look up and you're just like, I didn't even know this was a school.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, they're they're in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Why? Because one of their players put up 36.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Caitlin Clark, phenomenal.
Flood, phenomenal watch for Connect. Paige Beckers, obviously. Like I mean, I'm gonna miss some names because I'm not in it. I really get in it mid-March, obviously.
Yeah.
When the games are on more, but I've been watching, a little bit more than I normally have. And it's only growing. That's what I'm saying. And when I say growing, I mean like the actual product, right? Like I get it. For a long time, women have been kind of been treated like second-class athletes, and like there's an argument made like the speed, certain parts of the game haven't caught up to the men. Those days are getting over. When you watch Caitlin Clark do 30-foot step backs, and it really goes to show all they needed was time. You know what I mean? Like all you needed was time. Like obviously the women game is not going to be at the same level the men's game as far as like the skill, because like women just started really playing basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like really, like not to disrespect the women who came before, but I mean like it became a thing that like you could do, like you could aspire to, in a more realistic way.
I mean, I worked with a lady at one of my jobs, and she was older. She was probably in her 50s. But when she played in high school, they still had to keep a player on defense.
What now? What?
For women's basketball, for a while, you had to keep a player on defense like in soccer.
I didn't know that was a thing.
So even that, like they really didn't allow the women's sport to progress for a while.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah. Obviously just we're not going to see the kind of dunks and above the rim play as consistently.
So in 20 some years, because I don't know what I'm saying. I had this argument with my brother, and I'm asking you this.
Yeah.
I mean to cut you off, but I'm curious, right? You said we're not going to see it. I didn't think I'd see these 30-foot step backs like we do with Caitlin Clark, and how many of these girls can do that. I never thought, because like women used to shoot in a way that was like launching.
Yeah.
And now she's shooting back, like the upper body strength caught up. So all I'm saying is, I made the argument with my brother. I said, I wouldn't be surprised in like 20, 30 years if women are playing above the rim.
So you think, for just lack of a better term, you think our daughters will dunk?
Yes, because I'm seeing them dunk in high school. I'm seeing more girls dunk in high school now than when I was in high school. Candace Parker I was like, she can dunk. The one can dunk. Now it's like every time it's WNBA draft, there's like a couple girls that can dunk. You know what I mean? Like
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, I'm looking, like when I saw Kaylee, I said that looks like Steph Curry, right? But you have to have the strength of Steph Curry to be able to do that. You know what I mean? And like I think these girls are getting stronger. They're getting access to better training facilities. They're like working at it more realistically. I get that they're not as strong, probably, as some of the men or all this. I get some of the biological things. All I'm saying is, given time, that's the natural progression of the game. You know what I mean? We didn't think NBA players would jump as high as they're jumping now. People get bigger, they get stronger, they get faster. That's all I'm saying. It wouldn't surprise me in 30 years if it's like, oh, it's alley-oop. They throw alley-oops.
Okay. I mean, I really didn't think about it that way as far as like comparing the shooting to like how that has already changed just since we've been watching it.
Yeah. The speed of the game, like the lot of the skill, like a lot of that stuff, it looks different than when it looked like when we was in high school. These girls don't look like they're not moving the same.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, if you're the kind of person, and I think I've said this before, if you're the kind of person that like always gets upset because the men whine and complain too much, the women don't.
They don't. They gladiators.
The game moves faster. Refs swallow their whistle.
Yeah, I would never let my daughter play basketball. You asked that, I would never, because I had to beat up a little girl. Because they be fighting out there. And I ain't about that life.
So yeah, watch the women's tournament. Whatever school you're a fan of, support the women's team, and then find a WNBA team.
Yeah,
There's one of them close to you. I guarantee it. And if there's not, follow wherever Caitlin Clark goes.
yeah. Follow her.
Yeah,
'Cause that's fun to watch.
wherever she ends up, that's gonna be the fun
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, most definitely.
So just do that. All right. Do you have anything else?
Russ. We'll end on Russ. Russell Westbrook.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
All right. Go. You want to Russell Westbrook basically there was a post game press conference where he kind of revealed how basically I don't want to say the fans are getting to him, but maybe his family. Right? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I think he said he had to stop bringing his kids to games.
He stopped bringing his kids a game, and then there was a clip of him like going back with a fan who kept calling him Westbrook, and his response was like, "Don't play with my name." And let me ask you, what are your thoughts on? I don't know if you saw the video of him talking or read the quotes.
I read the quotes that he was mad that people were calling him Westbrook. To me, that is pretty tame for how he's played.
Yeah,
he has been an absolute disaster to the point where I'm like, is this the yips?
bro.
Like he seems so bad compared to who we watched and who we have seen.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just playing with LeBron exaggerates everything about your game. Or maybe it's being in LA, you're on TV more. And when he was in OKC and he was in Washington, we only saw the highlights when he was doing well.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the entire thing. But he has been a disaster.
Yeah, all right. We get that. I think we talk about his struggles. I really want to delve into more of what is an athlete's responsibility to jeers and the boos and the name calling. Like, is his his request for people to not play with his name, is that valid? Should we listen to it, or should we say shut up?
When it's something as silly as Westbrook,
Yeah,
that's where I'm like, come on, you couldn't shake that one off?
so his explanation for that, I don't know if you heard the clip.
No.
He said he was like, he had a parent-teacher conference with his kid, and the teacher was like, his son loves his name. He was writing his Westbrook on everything. And so for him to hear, he's so proud of how proud his son was of their name. And so to hear, and I want to go, Cap, you lying.
Yeah.
You lying, bro.
That feels very much like my 3-year-old said how much she loves democracy this morning.
Yeah.
Like one of those tweets.
I want to like Russ. Like I liked Russ. I loved Russ. The intensity of which he played, the fact that Kobe was like, oh, he played with that. I like him. This is the opposite of that. Like, I want to ask Russ, like, what do you expect fans or people who are not fans of you to yell at you? I get some stuff crosses the line, right? You talk about people's families. You talk about, you call them out their name as far as like, racial slurs, stuff like that. But like, I can boo you, bruh. If I pay them, I can boo you. I can come up with what I think are funny things.
Yeah.
And honestly, why are you hearing this? Because if you're hearing it, that means I won.
Yeah.
I did what I'm supposed to do. You're supposed to not care and keep playing and rise above it. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't affect you. But what I'm saying is most of these athletes play until somebody throws something or does something online. So it's like Westbrook, that can't be the first time you heard that.
Yeah, like don't touch players.
Absolutely not.
Don't talk about their families. Don't use slurs.
Yeah.
And I would even say for me, don't use profanity.
Fair enough.
Pretty those feel like
things. Yeah, I'm with you.
Feels pretty basic. Don't throw anything. It's very easy to be a fan.
Yeah.
So it is one of those things where you're just like, man, I think you just need to maybe shake it off and play better.
Yeah, we wouldn't do this if you weren't breaking so many shots.
And and it's not, it's not like these things are, in and out, or it's not like he's leaving shots short. Nah, he's missing everything.
Yeah, he missing bad. I heard one time I think it was on Clubhouse chat where his brother, we talked about this, his brother was on his chat and this very sincere Laker fan was on there. Russell Westbrook's brother was on this chat, and this very sincere Laker fan was like, "Hey man, I don't mean no disrespect. I'm a true Laker fan, but like, have y'all got his eyes checked?" And his brother started cracking up and yelled to, I guess, his nephew, "Man, they think Uncle Russ can't see." And he laughed partially because he was talking about how much they have to go get tested and checked out for these things. But he is playing bad enough where that's a legitimate hey, is everything okay?
Yeah, he looks like one of the Monstars stole his talent.
He does play like that quite often.
It's one of those things where I'm like, if I was a friend or family member, I would be legitimately concerned.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the games neither. I don't have much to cheer for right now, Russ.
Yeah, also, what's more embarrassing to your son? Like, you going out there and missing the entire backboard or Westbrook?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, that's true.
Your son loves his name so much. He also loves you.
Yeah, he loves you a lot, and you making it hard for him to love, man.
It still reminds me of my little brother. He was maybe 3 or 4 at the. He couldn't have been any older than that. And he burst into tears at a church league softball game because my dad grounded out to second.
Oh.
And he was sobbing because he said dad embarrassed him. Wow. And so, look, Russ, yeah, all right, if you want to draw the line that people shouldn't mess with your name, whatever. I think that's a little silly when it's Westbrook because there's other more hurtful names that start with B.
Yes.
So let's not die on this hill.
You're gonna make it worse for yourself too, bro.
You really are.
That's all you're gonna hear from the rest of this time now.
Yeah.
These people are savages, bro. We all saw that clip. Now your opponent's teams, fans, know what gets in your head. And they're not gonna make a general announcement over the PA. Hey, whatever you do, don't call him Westbrook.
No. If I'm him, I'm pulling a Kawhi, I'm hurting my knee. Yeah. And I'm getting 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th opinions once the team doctors clear me.
For sure.
I'm just I'm not playing in LA anymore. He needs to get out. I wish they had dealt him for LeBron's sake. I wish they had dealt him.
Yeah, he got to go play Orlando, somewhere that's no one really cares.
You need to hide again. You need to get back to these ridiculous triple doubles as your team loses by 15.
Yeah.
That's peak Westbrook.
Yeah.
But, man.
Well, we did it.
We did it. We ended on somehow a sadder note than an American stuck in Russia.
We did.
We got to work on our tone. It feels like we were more.
Yeah, I'm was there another topic we could go quickly and be happy?
I mean, let's see what we can do because we're at we're just now at about an hour.
Okay,
so let's do a quick happy one. Just real. Oh, did you see Glenn Davis get kicked out of his seat?
I did. It was in Boston.
It was in Boston.
Hey man,
he tried to sit courtside, I guess.
And KD caught him. He said, "Ain't your seat, big dog."
So there's that. I also want to ask you about this. Apparently, he's doing a stand-up tour.
Sheesh! I saw that.
It's called the Life After Basketball Tour.
Big baby, if you want to come do a spot on Gravy here in Atlanta on Wednesdays, or I can't speak for everybody else. I don't know if we all want them on here. Or you want to do a spot at the 1 a.m. Secret Show in Atlanta?
We want to hit.
People, at 1 o'clock in the morning, low stake, Big Glenn, Big Baby Dave, pull up, man. Pull up.
If you want to come to Gravy, put your name in the bucket.
Yeah, we got a bucket spot for you, Big Baby. He's not gonna be funny.
No,
he's not gonna be funny. Listen, people, right? It's a whole nother pandemic happening, and it's a virus, but it's celebrities thinking they can do comedy.
Yeah,
and it's taking over America.
I don't think they need to do what other celebrities have done, and just pay somebody to write something for you.
I thought you were gonna say make music.
Oh no. Blake Griffin didn't write a single minute of stand-up comedy.
To his credit, he didn't. Not only did not, he might have wrote it. He might have wrote it, but he could deliver it. That was my thing about Blake, and he could in a very a lot of people host the Oscars who aren't stand-ups, but they can deliver a joke, right? SNL have act if you could deliver the joke, fine.
Yeah,
but Blake wasn't bumping anybody. He wasn't walking into the Comedy Store bumping people or taking weekends from people.
And people just need to just do one-man shows and just call it that and frame it like that so you don't have to be funny all the time. Because I'm sure you've got good stories about being in the NBA.
Sure.
I'm sure some of them are funny that have natural punchlines and natural moments for laughs. So just do those. Don't do this stand-up comedy tour where you talk about your journey from basketball to hilarious comedian. That's what made me mad. Like, you don't get to crown yourself.
Is that what he named it, or that's what he called it?
So it's called the Life After Basketball Tour. And then in like the press release, it's like, come here, Glenn Davis, talk about his life from stand-up basketball to hilarious stand-up comedy.
What an interesting. We didn't care about you when you played basketball.
Also, I hate this headshot.
It's real bad.
But it's such a classic bad comic headshot.
Well, that's what he is. He's a bad comic who thinks they have funny stories and doesn't have jokes.
No, he's gonna realize real quick that like NBA stories are not as funny as you think they are.
Yo, you gotta be you had to been there.
Also, you're gonna realize that maybe some other people are getting laughs because of who they are. You are not that.
Yeah.
It would take
for long.
if Glenn Davis signed up for an open mic in Atlanta, even if he said Glenn Big Baby Davis,
yeah,
how many comics do you think are going, oh, you mean former NBA player Glenn Big Baby Davis?
No, we gonna think it's a new comedian named Big Baby.
Right. So that's the thing. Like, you don't even have like that. You don't even have that safety net of people loving you. He's never been anybody's favorite player.
You saw what the tour was, though. The locations.
Oh, all New England.
All New England. Yeah. So he know what he's doing.
Ugh.
He know what he's doing.
It's the worst. I hope they. I mean, none of them are going to bomb.
He's not gonna bomb at all.
Because you're not accidentally showing up to that show.
No.
He needs to pop into a show one time so that he can truly bomb.
He just needs to follow like Bill Burr or like some New England comic.
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
I want to see Bill Burr. I want to see him follow Bill Burr.
I do want to see that.
Or I want to see Bill Burr follow him.
That's really what I want to see more.
Be like, this guy getting up here.
Yeah.
This guy can do stand up.
I couldn't even stand up in the league. He's always on the ground. Sky.
You can make a free throw your belt like a 5'6" Shrek.
Yeah, he's still out of the league. Too many cheeseburgers. This guy. Would you heard me get paid chicken wings? He showed up. What are you doing? This guy.
Sorry, KG wasn't here to write the jokes for you.
I don't know if Bill Burr is good or bad, but I like doing it.
There's no good Bill Burr.
Yeah. I have no idea if it was good or bad, but I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Nobody has a good Bill Burr.
All I want to do now is just do Bill Burr commenting on Big Baby.
Oh, that would be so good.
That's all I want to do.
You know how much I love basketball? And I still don't love you. You play for my favorite team, and I don't care who you are.
Go back and wipe it up. It's KG's sweat. That's the last time you're good at anything. You're not good at this.
Paul Pierce pooped his pants, and this is still the worst thing a Celtics ever done.
Yeah. I know you were there. I heard you wiped his ass. That's how you got minutes.
So, just to recap, so I can show how versatile this podcast
Talk about it. Talk about it.
We did gambling. We did potentially kidnapping.
Yep.
We have done, I don't even remember. We talked Duke. We hate Duke.
Yep. We talked women's college basketball.
Women's college basketball, women's pro basketball.
The future of women's basketball. And we ended on Bill Burr impersonating. Come on, man. Impersonation. Come on, man. What more do you want from us?
What more do you want? This is it, y'all. We're tap dancing. We're pulling out all the stops for you.
Share this podcast.
Share, please.
Please.
If nothing else. We're working so hard.
Please.
What else do you want from us? We're doing everything.
Big Baby is taking all of our spots.
All right, well, that's it. That's all of our topics. I'm not gonna say it was 10. It wasn't 10. I don't know how many it was. But that's fine. We should have the rest of the team back next week. Once again, my name is Nathan Owens. You can find me on Twitter at @im_Owens, Instagram @ImOwens, NathanOwensComedy.com.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at DoorDies at DUEORDIE or DavidPurdueComedy.com.
Gravy every Wednesday.
Gravy every Wednesday. Oh, real quick, hold on. I want to make sure. It was a post. You might have to edit this, but I want to shout out or just like put it together. Elliot asked us to share somebody to vote for.
Oh yeah, I got to figure out how to do that.
I just want
to because like NC Wesleyan's got a guy that's up for like Player of the Year,
yeah,
or College All-Star,
yeah,
something like that. I'll edit it out, but I'll also
what?
I don't know. I mean, this is in real time. We're figuring out.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anyway, it says vote a great basketball player and great student, Damon McDowell. That's at Damon McDowell 6 for College All-Star game. He goes to North Carolina Wesleyan.
Yeah, and we're gonna retweet the link so that you can go vote for him. Yeah, and he'll be tagged. Well, he'll be tagged in that.
Yeah, but anyway, as you can hear, like I said, it's Damon McDowell at Damon McDowell 6. Go vote for him so we can get in.
There we go.
Carolina. Yeah.
Be sure to share with a friend. Thank y'all so much. Hashtag #410. See you next week.
I took Damon's holla. Then I was Peace.